Starting. We're on air. So, all right. Let's give everybody a few minutes. To tell people for joining. Send out the link if you can.
Where's the intro? Where's the iconic BG catchphrase?
You mean a monotone intro?
Yeah, wait for it.
I was like, what? But wait a second. Let me see if the stream is up.
I gotta play Spider-Man after this because it only got like an hour in or something. I gotta play it.
It says I'm offline for some reason.
Hey, Johan.
It's not live for me right now.
Yeah, Bindle.
Haikyuu got canceled.
Oh, because of Yonko, right? Oh man.
Well, dang.
Yep, he leaked news early.
They couldn't.
So they're like, all right, we gotta.
They have to eat the show now.
They gotta eat it. They had to eat it.
That Yu Yu Hakusho remake, they gotta eat it now because he leaked it early.
Fucking Steins Gate -1 won't be able to be made because of Yonko now.
Okay, let me sure.
Yeah, Oda, you got 10 more chapters to finish your whole story. What? Why? Because you've been leaking shit.
All right. Yeah, I plugged it.
And okay.
All right, we got someone in the chat. BG. I mean, I guess we could just start off the discussion and then rather than it just waiting for someone.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, can you send me the link? Can you send me the link to the stream so I can see it?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, I get what he means. Yeah, I'll DM it.
Go to his channel, asshole.
Okay, whoa there, Mr. Brian with an eye.
All right. Well, for whoever's here, thank you for joining us today. We are going to be having a My Hero Academia discussion about which My Hero Academia season was better, season 2 or 3.
What about one?
One, one's good, but sleep.
No, 2 and 3 are the most 2 and 3 are definitely the most talked about because with season, I guess I can start off right here. Season 3 had its highs, especially with the first half, but it took a dip for a lot of people to the point where many people actually dropped it. But then season 2 was a lot more consistently good and actually got kind of better as the season went along. So it's an interesting debate. So we can judge things fully. Yeah.
Yes, that was our
BG's favorite word.
That was our esteemed guest, Mr. Ninja Star.
Hello.
we also have 2 others with us. Introduce yourselves, fellas.
It's your boy, Mr. Gohan here, dudes. My profile picture is Windows 7 because I like it so much. I think I'm still undecided on the matter because it's been so long since I watched season 2. But I'm just gonna say that I like season 3 better as of now. Hey! Don't judge me.
What a bad fan.
Yeah, what a bad fan am I, right? Still reads the manga, okay? All right.
And then there's that, and when we have that real one over there, introduce yourself.
What's up? It's Bindle, aka Weezy Bird, and I've started a One Piece cult. Everyone's getting into it because of me, and that's a good thing. But I like My Hero too, so let's get this discussion started.
All right. So today marked the end of season 3 of My Hero Academia, and
fuck that ending.
I mean, I can see where he's coming from.
Not because it's bad writing, guys. It's just a very big cock tease for what's to come. That's all.
He's very right. Because I'm for those who haven't seen it, I'd mute or something like that right now. But let's be real. The ending of this season was a big tease because we were all over here expecting to see that big confrontation between the villains. And instead, they said, "Screw you, come back next year."
Yeah,
gotta wait another couple months. Oh wow!
Remember. Well, you know what they've been saying, bro. It's gonna be delayed for another 5 years.
Oh my god! Bad news incoming about the anime, guys.
We're gonna have Haikyuu season 4 before even My Hero season 4. Oh my god! Oh.
But yes, before I guess so for us to probably talk about season 3, we have to talk about season 2.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'd say okay, season 2. Let's start from the beginning. I gotta admit, the beginning of season 2 was really slow for me personally because it's it was a lot of build up.
What do you consider the beginning?
the beginning was where like they were talking about the sports festival. Then we had all like the build up and then like preparing for it for like those first 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
So it was, but it's in. Then again, I had to put that.
And then you had that one basically filler recap episode.
Yeah, of like season 3, and that was. I mean, like at the time I didn't mind it, but looking back, that was big sleep.
But it's like but then I have to put it into perspective and compare that to season 3's opening, which was a swimming episode. Which, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. We talked about this before on my channel, and for those who haven't, here you go. Here's another discussion about it. Season 3's opening. I remember when we first saw it, I was over here like, it was great, it was fine, it was fine, it was a good recap. But then you get over the next week, we have another recap that does the exact same thing, but in a better way, in a much more condensed and better way. So it's over here like, so if you're gonna do the exact same thing in the next episode, why you do this over here for?
Right.
And not to mention, if you just judge it off the episode alone, just like the ending of season 3, the beginning also was a big tease.
Everything was just a big tease left and right, man.
Remember that big race we were supposed to be getting between the two of the like the top 3 students?
Man, that was so they had the opportunity, but they did it. It was whack.
They're holding a lot back here, and I don't like it.
I guess we can like move on to the like sports festival bit though, because that's like the big thing compared that to like maybe like because I guess we could just talk about like the sports festival versus maybe like the camp bid, the hideout arc, and then maybe like the stain arc versus the licensed stuff. We can just start out with the sports festival.
Well, I mean, okay, then let's go from the start of the sports festival. Sports festival, it's a really interesting to look back on that in retrospect because honestly, in the beginning bits, I'm not gonna lie. Personally, I'd say the beginning bits that aren't part of the tournament, the only real interesting parts were stuff that had to do with Izuku himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you have like him having to figure out how to be able to do that race without having to use his quirk at all and somehow still be able to come in first place. I have to admit it's a very good showcase of his intelligence versus
using his environment around him to try to get the first place. And it was like, holy shit. Even though he has the quirk, he didn't even need it. Oh god. That's him.
Gohan's fake enthusiasm is always welcome.
It's always welcome, dude.
But am I wrong? I mean, he did use his environment and just triumphed over everybody else who had a quirk. And they're all just right behind him, but they couldn't catch up. And then he got in first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, the sports festival, I really, really liked it at the time. And I think everyone's on that same boat. Like, everyone was on the My Hero hype train when they saw, like, Deku versus Todoroki and all that. But I will say, I mean, it's definitely an enjoyable tournament, but it doesn't hold up as well as I remember because outside of like I actually kind of like the race stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. But if you weren't Deku, if there wasn't a fight with like Deku, Bakugo, or Todoroki, it was very forgettable. I mean, I like the stuff where yeah, just think about like the highlights of the sports festival as far as like the major fights go. Like Shinzo versus Deku, Deku versus Todoroki, Bakugo versus Uraraka, and Bakugo versus Todoroki. It all involves like those main 3. And if you put that aside, like everyone else gets shifted aside. Class B, like everyone's thrown at you. You get all these info dumps for these characters you don't even know or care about. We'd already gotten 20 characters introduced in season 1, half of which we didn't even know their names. And now we're getting even more. And it was just like, so we only really got focused for like 4 of them, like the Uraraka and then the main 3.
Personally, that Shinsu versus Deku fight is not good at all. It's a very big like ass pull like fight. Granted, it did lead to better things like the Deku Todoroki stuff, but personally, when you look back, it's not that great because if Deku literally had any other quirk that was his fucking OP quirk, he would have lost, straight up.
Right.
But he got away with it because, all the predecessors of One for All were like, yo, wake up, nigga. So, and that's how he won, so.
He's got a point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
However, I agree with him for the most part, but I will say that it did lead to some great things later in the manga. What we saw, Well, I can't get too far into that without spoiling any much. Oh man, of course. Oh, look, we got in the chat over here.
Blick, groggy.
We got Mr. Yu Yu Hakusho here.
Mr. Yu Hakusho stand. No, I will say, like, I think, like this, like the Deku Shinso fight. I think I like Shinso as a character. I liked his backstory. The fight itself was whatever, but I mean, it's still like kind of memorable. Like, it's like I think a lot of like even in one of the popularity polls and the manga at that, like Shinso was like top 10, and he wasn't even like that prevalent in the manga. So it's like, granted, it's the animes. You know, like the anime was going on at that time too, and it showed the Shinso stuff. But it shows like he's a decently popular character. And I like him. I like that he's being brought. No spoilers for people who haven't read the manga because this is like an anime stream, so I'm not gonna go too much in there. But yeah, it's whatever.
Well, what I'll say about Shinso is that what was good about him is that it showed how flawed their like entrance exam for that whole test is, and it also gives like a bit of a tease about how the Hero Society itself is a flawed thing. Because honestly, you think about it, this man has a really powerful quirk, but he can't be. It's not really very useful against fighting robots, which is their indication of how if you're worthy to be in the hero course or not.
Right.
And
right.
because of that, his OP quirk got him thrown into the general studies class. But
Yeah.
just because it wasn't useful for that one particular situation of all things. So it's like that. It has some purpose. Everything here has purpose, and that was what was good about the arc.
Yeah, I will say. And it's like the character arcs that we see, I think, are pretty good. I mean, the fights themselves have definitely been criticized. And I like them, but I can understand where people are coming from. But I will say, like, the character arcs that go on in each one, I think the narrative itself is fairly good. Like, I think Yuraraka, like, that was actually the high point of Yuraraka. Like, I'm not even a big fan of her character, but it was at that moment in the sports festival where I'm like, I really, really do like this character. I think Todoroki is probably the best arc out of anyone there. And Bakugo's thing is really like, I mean, obviously he doesn't change too much, but his status does begin to grow quite a bit. And that's definitely like a feat in and of itself. Like one of the big things for the movie is Bakugo got invited because he was #1 in the sports festival. So it's kind of that stepping stone for him, like his general studies. And then with Deku, I mean, Deku, you know, I don't think I really need to go much there. You want to switch over to season 3 now?
Yeah. Now let's talk more about the beginning of season 3.
Mm-hmm. So we had that swim episode, and you know, people watched it. Ooh, filler, and then the real episodes. So, yeah,
it was like, well, it wasn't even just that. It was like we get the beginning of that arc, and it was like, it had some good. It was a good like if you ignore the first episode and look at the second one as that first episode, it's a very good start. But I mean, you can't. But I mean, to be honest, that's not really very fair. So we can't do something like that.
Yeah, but I would say like as an overall, like I think the first half of season 3 is like really great. Like the muscular Deku thing's a very memorable moment. Like how Koga began to, you know, grow on Deku and all that. The All Might stuff, that's all great bits. And I think the Tokoyami bits were really nice too. You actually got some shine for the students more than the sports festival, which only focus on like 3 or 4. So it's like, the camera was really good because it kind of like broke the formula and all that. I
was gonna say one little tidbit. I really liked how they showed how Koga's parents died in the anime versus the manga. It was really good how they adapted it. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have that I was actually very I will say this. There's the scene where like they like the villains show up. I'd say that the shot itself isn't nearly as iconic as the manga, but I will say that the dialogue, especially in dub for that scene with Dabi, was very good. Because honestly, what I say that the anime did very well, but that the manga didn't really capitalize on to me, was that Dabi, I didn't really care about Dabi that much in the manga at the time. But the anime gave him just like some good shine, some good like characterization. Gave me a real good feel for him. Made him like one of my favorite characters, and he's not even really that prominent.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think the anime benefited from adding. No, I mean I think like all in all the camp stuff was a lot stronger of a start than the sports festival was, and I mean I think that's actually fair to compare because I mean, it is like I think what makes the camp arc so special is it balances out the stuff between the students and the actual like villain bits, so, like the serious stuff, really, really well. And that's if you like separate it with the hideout raid, because if you notice, like me and BG were talking about this, My Hero has this formula where it's like serious arc, kind of lighter arc, focusing on the students and all that. Serious arc, then lighter arc. This one, I guess it kind of starts off as a lighter arc, focusing on the students. Is like, oh, just a regular training arc, but then it, like, it's a lot different than you'd expect, and I think that's what makes it really special and really memorable. And I love the way it ends off. The feeling of despair is really great, and like tie and leads into the hideout raid stuff really well. So,
Tie.
Yeah, before we get into that, we got to get into that. What is it? What was it? Field training arcs? What they call it? The official name?
I always throw that in with the Stain arc.
No, that's what the field training arc is. The Stain arc.
I call it the Stain arc. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's. That. Okay, I personally might be a little bit biased here, but that's still one of my favorite arcs. So it's hard for me to even say anything negative about this one.
Oh yeah, there's no negative. I just think the hideout raid arc, which is I guess we're putting that up against in the final exams or still provisional. I think like the Stain arc definitely it's very impressive. It's in my top 5, I would say, but the hideout raid is just too iconic for My Hero.
It is. It's just that in this one, this is a very important arc because it's it was Izuku's first step into getting out of this whole. Every time I fight, I hurt myself. It was his first step into becoming an actual hero, where he'll be able to at least be able to continue fights or continuously save multiple people instead of just saving one,
or not be a hindrance for other people.
Yeah, that too. It was his first step of development. And that's what made it. That's part of what made it great. Then after that, you have to factor in the fact that, and during this arc is where Todoroki, you can see the payoff from Todoroki's confliction in the sports festival. You see where he's gone from here, what he's gonna do with it.
Yeah, finally uses that fire consistently.
Yes.
Which, looking back, it's kind of funny how in season 1, remember that he had basically a robot getup for his fire part.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find it kind of interesting that Horikoshi basically foreshadowed that for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because it's what made that good to me personally is this it's honestly the thing that's really good about the what you just brought up is the fact that at that time, did you really think anything of Todoroki in season 1?
No, actually, I was just it's just a guy that uses ice, and I guess he looks like a robot. So
he's kind of doesn't say much, doesn't do much.
I wouldn't think he was gonna be a top 3 important Class A member.
Exactly. You didn't think he'd be one of the main cast.
Hell,
big boys.
The 3 most important at the time was gotta be, of course, Deku, Bakugo, and then either Uraraka or Ida. One of the 2.
Yeah.
But no, it was Todoroki.
We were all expecting it to be.
No, but in season 1, Mr. Gohan.
Yes, I know, dude. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. When we get to that, you have that iconic team up with the three of them with Ida, Todoroki, and Izuku. Which
I love that versus Stain. That was a good fight.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the blood personality theory.
What was that? What is that?
How with Stain power he licks your blood and paralyzes you, right? But depending on your blood type, you can either be paralyzed for a long time or a short time, right? But the blood personality theory is that whatever your blood type is relates to your personality. I don't know details, but let's just say if you're A type, you're kind of a calm, demeanored person, for an example. And then a blood B type could be you're very anxious or something like that. Those are not the actual clarifications, but it relates to the characters basically, which was pretty damn cool.
That is, that'd actually be a very good way to explaining things. I might be looking into that soon.
Yeah.
So what was it? And not to mention, one of the best things about that was actually Ida, surprisingly, of all things. because it actually gave him some much needed development, if you ask me personally.
Mm.
Well, unfortunately, that's been the last focus he's had for a while. That individual focus.
Yeah, now he's just a good old class president again, telling people to go online.
Well, I mean, no, like go on. There was some like showcase of that, and we're gonna get into that in a sec. We're gonna get to that in a sec.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. BG, check your Discord DMs just real quick. But consider what you're saying.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, what is it? Anyway, before we continue, let's check out this chat.
Alrighty.
Chickadee chat, dude.
What was it?
Yeah.
It's symbolic because so Neil says that it's symbolic because O blood type is a universal donor, but can only accept type O. This represents Midoriya's nature of selflessness. That's actually a very good point. I actually didn't think of it that way.
Right, yeah.
Well, thank you, Neil, for that insight. Mhm.
Like, Neil, do you have a list of that? If he's types, or you just know that off the top of your head?
Well, he's right that O is the universal donor, and AB is the type that's the opposite of O, that it can take anybody, but it can't give to anyone. So, there's that.
Mr. Gohan.
Well, I'm Gohan the doctor.
What? I like science stuff, bro. I know this shit.
You know, the Gohan in the show. Very nerdy.
Gohan's a scholar. Gohan's a scholar too, you know.
No, BG, do you want to get back to the discussion overall?
Yes. All right. Anyway, so moving on from season 2, we go back to season 3 with the hideout raid.
Yeah.
No, I'm also
things get real now.
I'm certain all of us have had our fair share of stories and hype for that one. So
I nutted everywhere. Even though I think the manga handled that part better than the anime.
You can't nut to black and white stuff though. You got to do it to the color stuff. So it makes sense.
The thing is,
okay then. Alrighty.
On that front, I'd say that manga did some things better, like the fight. The anime did some things better, like the emotional aspect. Because not only that, it wasn't just like the fight that I felt more emotional towards. It's also with the reveal of Nana Shimura.
Yeah, I thought
showed her face.
Yeah, he actually showed her face because in the manga it was just like that silhouette or like that thing from the back. And the anime actually like
yeah, she's hot.
very, very.
I think she's my favorite bae in the series. So.
I mean, hey, she's
and she's of age, so I'm not a creepo too. So
can we have a rip in the chat for Nana Shimura?
Rip in the chat, man. She was great. I think I agree with BG. Like I was talking about this, like debating which one's better, and I think it really just comes down to what do you value more in a fight. Like I think the anime, obviously, like the music and voice acting was like on point, the animation too. But like the manga, in terms of like fight and selling intensity and the serious stakes and all that, yeah, I think that's where it like did it better. And I honestly, it's weird because I feel that way, but for something like the Bakugo versus Deku fight, which we're gonna get into later, I actually like the anime a lot more. And I mean, it's weird because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, those panels are really, really memorable. So it's like, would that be able to translate over? Would that, But I mean, hey, it was good. But we're getting off topic.
It was it's over here. What is it? There it is. Back to the point at hand. It was like for me, it's like I think the build up. I actually was. I think that was. I don't know really. It's hard to say what I think was better in that one, like the manga or the anime for the build up.
Yeah,
they're even. Let's just say they're even.
Yeah, they're even. But overall, like I think both interpretations of the fight were like really, really.
They're spot on.
What about you, Mr. Gohan?
How do I feel about the Bakugo versus Deku fight?
No,
How do I feel about it?
No, the hideout raid.
The hideout raiding arc. I'm gonna agree with Ninja that the anime did a better job of showing it. No, God. Oh, you know what? Let's just restart that. I believe that the anime had a better perception of the hideout arc, especially the break into the hideout. That was great, and all the memes that came with it was good. Good times.
Oh, you mean the no memes?
Yes.
Oh no, no. If you're talking about the no memes, I 100% agree. Those were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what led after to when All for One came in. Now that was chilling. That was a chilling moment. I'm not gonna lie. That was really chilling.
Came in.
God.
No, oh
It
my
was-
god! Yeah, and it's iconic theme that spoilers is used in the movie.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah,
Lucas is here. What
I
up?
think it's fitting though.
But I will have a criticism though.
What
I
is that?
and it relates to both season 2 and 3 of the anime, where season 2, the finale, spoiled what All for One looked like, which was never the case in the manga. The manga, he was just, like Voldemort, right? It's like, oh, it's just like you just say his name, but you have no visual what he looked like. So when he showed up to fight All Might, and basically the season 3 portion, you're like, oh shit, right? But in the anime, it's like, oh, he's here. And if you're an anime only watcher, you're like, oh, he's probably gonna show up sooner or later, right? So there's like no mystery to him. So that's my criticism when it comes to that.
Hey, BG.
Mhm.
Cool if Azure joins.
Oh, Nimbus wants to join.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, hit him with the link because he doesn't follow me, so you have to.
Your link.
Twitter.
I can DM it to him.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. We got a special guest coming in real quick here.
that's
Azor
right.
Nimbus.
Yep.
New challenger approaching.
Here he is.
Hey, Ninja, check your Twitter DM.
There you go.
Yeah, I saw. It's like.
No.
One Piece type.
1 second. Wrong one.
Oh wait, no. He says no. Wait, hold on. I can't at the moment. Oh, okay.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
right, that's cool.
Continue on.
False alarm.
False on. No, but
I want a Zor Ace in the call.
Azor Ace.
It'd be great if
I don't
Kyle
know
could
about
get on, but Kyle seems to be MIA at the moment.
That's not his name. He's just a Zor Ace.
Of course.
I can't believe they adapted the Miria scene. That's what he said. Remember that?
That was a thing.
No.
Yeah. In case you guys haven't seen the last couple episodes, a new character named Mirio, whose ability is to like go through walls and stuff. There's like a meme of him like popping out to meet Deku for the first time, which was in a manga. And our friend Azure Ace was like, I can't believe they adapted that. It's like, yeah.
He
they
just
adapted
tells Deku, he's like, hey, go put the trash in here, here, and here, and have a good day. And just leaves.
Yeah, dude.
And that's it. He's like, and then he comes back, come from the ground. Hey, Deku, I heard you're the one who fought with that one kid. I like your, what did he say? Like his energy or what? I forgot what he said. He said something like you're really energetic and stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot. Anyway, after that, and he's like, I'll see you later. And then they never finish their discussion, so I'll never know. Until next time, whenever season 4 comes out. Season 4 is going to be really
in 3 years.
It's gonna be some good shit, guys. You all just gotta wait for it. Don't worry, it's gonna happen.
Or
It's gonna be
you can start reading volume 14 and 15 on Tuesday if you're from the United States.
Yes.
Check this man's advice.
It's a really good stuff. I cried a lot when I read that part. It was good
You
stuff.
didn't cry. You just skimmed through it just to catch up. I was like, all right, guys. I made it to chapter 190. Just like you watched 700 episodes of One Piece and then dropped it.
I will always regret this, but I am reading the manga, so it's okay. It's okay, all right. I'll catch up.
Just slid in the middle of the street.
I know, right? He just cut me in half right now. I have nothing to retort it, but I am catching up.
I cut you up like Zora cut up Monet.
Yeah, you. God damn, that sucks.
Gohan's like, who's Zoro again?
You mean Zolo?
Yeah, Zoro, bro.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Oh, Neil's already pre-ordered. He's looking forward to it. All right, Neil. Neil's on top of shit today, man.
Ninja, he just finished a chapter.
But we're getting mad off topic.
Yeah,
Sorry, y'all.
Anyway, back to the hideout raid. Although, like I said, we touched on it a bit, but I have to say one of the bigger criticisms I have for that would be like, yeah, overall when you compare that fight in the anime to the fight in the manga had me like on the edge of my seat due to how intense it seemed, how like the drawings, the details on the art was very
We're
descriptive.
talking about the All Might fight.
All Might and All for One fight, yeah.
Yes, where each chapter there was like it got more tense and it was more build up. While in the anime, it just all happened in one episode.
Yeah. I agree with Bendo because like just the cliffhanger of like a chapter of like All Might being revealed to the world, I felt that had the stronger impact, but in the manga than the anime, because in the manga I actually felt that in the anime it was like a quarter into the episode, and it's like it's not as fun. I mean, I think 2 chapters per episode is great, but
Yeah, which season 2's fights, like the big important ones, like Deku Todoroki and the Stain ones, didn't have that issue per se. It felt like even though they were done in one episode or 2, it did still have like tense moments and build up, and still managed to get everything done.
But exactly. Oh, but Neil, I agree with you that the anime had very good direction on that. But the thing about it is that the way the whole thing was shot, it definitely gave in and did better for the emotional aspect. It made me care. I cared a lot, and I was very scared for All Might, even though I already knew what happened. But the thing is, though, in terms of like, I guess the best way to phrase this would be that it lacked the hype of the manga.
I wouldn't say. I would say like
It's
I
like
don't think hype's the right word. Seriously, intensity.
And I found out something today on Twitter.
What?
There, you know how we talked about how the manga had Stain shown in prison,
Yeah.
but the anime skipped that. Oh, the other thing the anime done. Remember?
You're right.
All for said that he can feel sensation in the air and.
You're cutting out a lot.
Yeah,
By the way.
Bender, you're cutting out a
hello?
lot.
Hello?
That's it. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh yeah, so do you know Stain was shown in manga but not in the anime?
Yeah.
There was, remember All for One All Might that he worked to feel like sensations in the air?
Yeah.
That was skipped in the anime.
I didn't actually reckon. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I read it actually. So it's like, it's weird, like in season 2, like I don't think the manga skipped out anything, but then in season 3, there's just things there that they skipped out on with no explanation.
Yeah.
And showing like Stain in prison is not. It's like a big moment in the manga. It's just literally like one little panel. That's it. So it shouldn't take that much in an episode time. You know what I mean? So it's odd.
Yeah, and Shinzo's brief.
Oh, I
appearances,
didn't even
too.
think about that. That's a good point. It's
No,
like,
the Senshu stuff was not skipped. Like the whole he got bigger. That was shown in the anime.
well, actually, yeah. Yeah, that was like last episode, right? Was the episode before that?
Yes.
Yeah, because then we also had because I was like where that annoying ass dude Monoma showed up.
Oh, no one likes Monoma.
Exactly.
We don't talk about Monoma in these parts.
No, but like I think the hideout raid, like the All My stuff is great, but another thing kind of adding on to it too is just like the Bakugo rescue scene is just so wonderful to see. I think like everyone just crashing in, like just a lot of stuff that like we're talking about the All Might stuff like a lot because it's the main selling point of the arc, but there's also like some great stuff with the students. Like I think Bakugo refusing Shigaraki is such an underrated moment because it's like the middle finger to all the people who were thinking this was going to be a Sasuke clone. And I can understand it at that moment because the way he was getting kidnapped and all that. It's like, oh, this is the Bakugo retrieval arc. Oh, sounds kind of familiar. And then it's like, no, it's a big middle finger that, no, this guy is definitely not going down the evil path. And I really like that moment because it's like, wow, you're not falling into the cliche. And it's a good move. That was one thing I really liked. And that's why, like if someone in my here like heard of a traitor, or like heard there was a traitor going on or something, and they hadn't seen this moment prior, they would probably assume like the traitor's Bakugo or something. But then it's like this moment in itself is like, Bakugo is still a hero. It's like an aggressive one, but not a villain. Like far from it.
Well, then we actually have to get into this other thing with whatchamacallit. What's his name again? Oh yeah, there's something else that where I go into like how like the emotional aspect was really there, and that's the part with Shigaraki when he was a kid.
Ooh, that was good too. Like I love the connection that was made between. This is a manga thing too, but like I love the connection that was made between like him and Nana. I thought that was very impactful to even someone like All Might.
Like the way it was done in the anime really won me over for that scene, and it just added to my already like growing interest in Shigaraki as a character.
Yeah, Shigaraki is actually like my favorite antagonistic character in My Hero. It's just weird because like for a lot of people it's like Overhaul or Stain or whatever. But I like Shigaraki because he kind of grows with Deku, and there's like those parallels to be made. Like how Bakugo is the foil for Deku on the hero side of things, Shigaraki is the foil for Deku on the villain side of things. So I always like that dynamic. But yeah, I think that's good. Do you want to like shift over to now the actual exams, like the final exams versus the license exams?
Oh yes, I've been waiting to talk about this one.
This one gets interesting.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so season 2. Yeah, I'm sure you're all aware of the provisional license exam because we just got done with that midness. But yes, back in season 2, as far long ago as it was, we had that final exam arc. Now, let me be clear here. In the manga, I thought it was cool. I thought it was really fun. It was a fun little quick arc. Didn't really think too much of it. But the anime did a good job of actually elevating that arc in my eyes. Like it was just phenomenal for how it was done.
Yeah, because they showed all the fights in more detail.
Exactly.
In the manga, like everyone except All Might versus Deku Bakugo, they were like just basically one-offs for the most part.
Yeah, the anime's direction, like the way they like reordered a lot of the events, I thought that was a great move. And it's like even the content within it's like great. I think Yaoyorozu really getting some shine is great. Yuraraka, is like confession and all that. It's also nice to see. And I think Bakugo, Deku, like them working together again. I think that's it's a nice little moment. It's just like the final exams are just I wouldn't say it's my favorite part of season 3, but I think it ends off much nicer than
You mean 2?
No, sorry, 2. 2 and ends it off much nicer than 3 did. With like it's because I like the final exams arc quite a bit. It's very underrated.
Yeah, it's very cool that they fought their teachers. Like, all right, let's let you develop against big boys or big girl, and Midnight fought. I mean,
that was so funny, bro.
It was not even just that. It's like this is the first time, for the context, the manga. For me to actually start caring about Bakugo as a character, it took the Izuku versus Bakugo fight for me to actually start caring about him at all. The anime, though, in the final exam arc, it showed me just how determined he was as a character and how everybody keeps talking about how he more than anyone else is fighting to become number 1. I can really see that in this arc in the anime from the final exam arc. You really feel it there. You can really just tell his drive and determination, especially with him doing. Even with his distaste for Izuku, was doing his best to get him to pass that line so they could pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good it's a good showcase of who he is as a character. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of us overlooked that though in the original in the manga because he's an asshole.
And he would just cuss people out. He would just always want to get his way and
like
you. Right, he just wanted to be an asshole. That is not what I do. That is not what I do at all. I do the exact opposite. Anyway, to be on topic, Bakugo was just like a complete, just like no one really liked him. Everyone just thought he was just that one guy, just yells at people, wants to have his way and stuff. But the anime, as BG said, it shows more of his determination than him just being a piece of crap because he's just like that, because that's just kind of who he is. But in the end, he is a determined guy, as you saw in the Bakugo versus Izuku fight. For the people who have watched it, which is probably everybody, you just saw how he just wanted to be the best and stuff. You see that later.
Talk to him.
Thank you, Bindle. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was very good, dude.
Very mid.
There you go.
No, the final exams are good. The license scam. No, it's funny because BJ was saying all that, and I don't know why for a second he was saying like the manga, like he said the manga was alright, but the anime really elevated with the fights. So all that, like the way he was talking about it, I'm like, bro, the license exam isn't that good. And I was like, oh, you're talking about the final exams. And I think that should give an idea of how kind of mid the license exams actually are.
Oh yeah,
So I guess we can shift over there if you want.
Yeah, okay. So why the arc is mid, right? Okay, I'll say this. I actually do like the second part of the exams where they have to like be tested on how they can rescue like citizens during like a big like attack because that's very important. And I like that. The thing I don't like is just like the whole okay, you gotta dodge, basically play dodgeball. You know what I mean? Like I never understood that concept.
You mean like the first? You mean like the first test?
Yeah, the first test where it's like, all right, get 3 hits on an opponent and you pass, and I'm just like, I don't really understand like how that would work like in real life. You know what I mean? Well, has in real life like different stuff.
I guess what the purpose of that person, this is my guess, is that it's like okay, in real life you're gonna be in a fight, and when you get in fights, well, how good are you fighting essentially? And they don't want them to actually injure each other in that situation. So it's like okay,
Like how fast can they hit people? How fast can they just get those villains down so they can save people?
Actually,
that's why.
Gohan actually brings up a good point. It's also the fact that they had a limit about who's going to pass. So I guess it's also like you have to, when you're dealing with villains, you have to get rid of them quickly, or as quick as you can at least.
Man,
so that's also another good way of looking at it too. But it's like,
and also it lasted way longer than like the actual important part of the exam, which is like the rescuing like citizens part.
Yeah, now that's something I definitely agree with you on because I definitely don't see why it was like as long as it was in comparison. Also, although I will say that there was one part of that was really good, which was the part with Bakugo, Kaminari, and like Kirishima.
Todoroki and Todoroki's fight against the ninjas was pretty cool. I liked it.
It was fun. I'll say that it was fun, but it's part of a bad episode in my opinion, which is the one with the T girl.
I was neutral about that. It's anime only, and it elaborated on Momo's role a little bit more, and I liked it.
I liked how Momo took that.
I get that, but it's like with me, it didn't. Her plan. Okay, here's the thing. Her like accord is whenever she drinks tea, her intelligence, her already super high intelligence goes up even higher. So but for somebody with like a 200 IQ, her plan was terrible.
Not gonna lie, Chief, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't even work with her quirk. Her quirk already is kind of it fits the world of My Hero, but it's kind of lame. But even with her mid lame quirk, it doesn't feel like she's that smart. Her plan's basic, and as a basic plan, she couldn't even execute the basic part of the plan well because she didn't think it through. It's like, hey, how about if I make it too cold and stuff like that, she'll be forced to use her quirk. Okay.
She forgot about it. The anime power of friendship. She forgot about it.
But that wasn't even a power of friendship situation though, because she outsmarted her.
That too, but it was there for a little bit.
And not to mention, here's another issue I had with it. The whole logic they have is that she'll overuse her quirk to where she won't be able to move anymore. I'm like, but the problem is, the whole point of the training of the field training, like the forest training arc, is that it was to help them improve and power up their quirks. So if it only took like 3 usages of her quirk to tire her out, that doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. It's just dumb. It's really dumb. Doesn't really work with what was already been established in the show. It's bad. I didn't like it so at all.
Yeah, it was really whatever.
I do like in this arc though that the top 2 students did not pass. I do like that because again, if you're not a very cooperative hero and not good with citizens, you're not gonna be a good hero no matter how good your quirk is, no matter how strong you are, which is good.
And I also think the Inasa stuff with Todoroki, sorry to cut you off, but I think the Inasa stuff with Todoroki was really good too. Like I think that fight actually that episode looked really good. And it's like overall, like I think that gives him like it's I can't really go into too much because it's elaborated on a bit more in like a coming arc soon, but it's still like
Hey,
interesting to see.
How many schools were participating in this?
It was.
Do you-
They just said it was schools across the country. They never actually gave a definitive number though.
Yeah, okay, which is weird because if it's schools across the country, it's so weird that only like 3 schools got like the focus.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't think about that. It was like the one with jokes. It was like
And then if you
Shiketsu.
include Class B, Class B wasn't it, right? Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, there were.
They're not
Yeah, I
there.
guess.
They're not there. They had a separate test at a separate time.
Oh yeah, because they were so forgettable. I'm sorry.
Wait, is that why we didn't see so many schools? Because just different times and different days? Is that why?
Maybe I could maybe see that being a case. Like, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Maybe like only,
Like if
one
you were
class in school.
if you were an anime only watcher and you watch the intro, right, and see like, oh, Deck is looking at all these different students. Whoa, right? And then when you really think about it, only like 3 schools were like the focus of the arc. Which, whatever. I mean, it's a quick arc. It's not like it was a freaking like 50 chapter long arc, and still only 3 schools got focused. But
I guess it's like because those are it's like at least they did something with those schools. But I've noticed something. Like as we go forward, this is like a minor. I don't think I can even call this a spoiler. It's just that I've noticed something from the manga. We haven't seen these schools ever again. Shiketsu or like the other one that Jokes was from.
not yet.
Yeah.
Because remember, if I don't know if any of y'all in the chat are like keeping up with it, like by chapter 200, but it's still a relatively young manga, so there's still a lot of stuff left. So I'm sure we'll get more updates on like the other school. Hell, when we eventually go see America or something.
Oh, I mean, after this movie, it'd be a crime not to.
Yeah, the fact that they're like, oh, so many people are interested in this movie, maybe because of America, why not make an arc around America? Who knows?
I mean, don't get my hopes up, but don't tease me with a good time.
That's true. Neil mentioned this. This is a bit off topic. This is why I want to try Wizard Cup Sports. Yo, that would be okay. Try Wizard. The thing is about that is it would only be like that's true. I get where you're coming at, but it would only be like it doesn't have to be exactly, but it would be like one student from each school. So I just imagine it's like Deku and then like maybe someone from Shiketsu, and then I don't know how I feel about them. Maybe if they were to focus on like someone else and it's just that one person. But what's up?
Well, I'd see what the purpose would be because think about it. They're about to finish their first year, and if they get into another sports festival, how is that necessarily going to work? Like, how is it going to be like special and different from the last one? The only way I could see it being different from the last one is if they added more schools. And not to mention, for me personally, there's something I've always questioned about the lore they introduced with the sports festival. It's like in Japan, this has replaced the Olympics. Mighty funny that one school sports festival has replaced the Olympics. It'd make more sense if it was on multiple schools.
I don't know.
So it's like,
yeah, it's really weird to call. I will say the thing is about the license exam, it's not that interesting, but like I think the ending of it does kind of make it worth it. I know they kind of teased too much stuff, but like overall, if you look at it, like the Bakugo Deku, like I was telling BG about this when I was first catching up. I was like, the license exam kind of boring, but this fight kind of made it all worth it because it's like Bakugo basically failed because it was just like one thing piling up on top of another, like bottled in with him. He's like, and now this was kind of the last straw where it's like, all right, so Deku basically passed and I'm failing. This is where he's really starting to fall behind. And like I think go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say in the Bakugo fight versus Izuku, like for the anime at least, with all those flashbacks, like all my life you were always trying to follow me, you were always trying to be like me, but now you're the one who's surpassing me. You just couldn't do it anymore.
Yo, talk to them, bro. Talk to them.
All right, dude, take it easy.
Oh man.
Just tell him how it is.
Before we go more into Deku vs. Bakugo, I want to make a quick comparison. The thing that I feel the license exam lack to the teacher battles and the sports festival is that everyone got like a lot of focus. Like everyone had like some sort of action, whether it was individual or like team effort, which I really like. But with the license exam, like really it was just a little bit of Yu Yu Razo team, but other than that, it was just like Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, and then that's really it.
Yeah, that's very true. Because it's like we really had one of the other big things about it was like honestly in the license exam, like the only like really super hype part we got in the art, like the license exam part of the arc itself was the what was it called again? Was that Inasa and Todoroki versus gang worker part.
And even then, like most of the hype was the aftermath of it.
Yeah.
We can't forget about that amazing animated part where like they got bodied and then they just worked together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
The animation of that was just phenomenal.
I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I forgot there were some like gems in the license exam arc. I will say, like I mentioned, the fight was great at the end. I think that really like was a big point for the Deku Bakugo rivalry. And like Almighty said, like they're becoming true rivals, and I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, like they're kind of distant. Like you don't see them work together too much, but you know, it's interesting.
No, it seems like general shonen stuff. It's like in the main character and the rivals. Like if you two work together,
Yeah,
you can have unstoppable things.
yeah, but it's like it took a while for it to be respected enough to be a full rivalry because it started off kind of as an abusive, one-sided friendship.
Which I could definitely see in the final arc of the series, those two teaming up to kick Shigaraki's ass or something, which would be dope.
Man, that would be sick. Yeah, like Neil said, I hope they do team up. But no, it's also like the ending bits, like Mirio's stuff was great, but then it's also like
the best character. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention, and the Twice backstory. The Twice backstory, man, I remember seeing it in the manga, but it was placed at such a weird time that I kind of forgot about it, and I regret it because Twice is such an interesting character. Like I would say he's not as villainous, I guess you could say, as like Shigaraki or All for One or Overhaul or whatever, but he's just like he's really interesting. Like the human side of him kind of kicks in. He has this like split personality type thing of him literally like not knowing his true identity and all that. Like it's
why do you like Twice? It's so Horikoshi traits Deadpool. As an artist, I'm gone.
It's like I guess you did kind of like I already kind of liked him before. I thought he was a funny character, but then it's like deep down, this man goes through a lot of mental stuff, and I really like that. Like I forgot there was the backstory because I remember reading it somewhere, but it got kind of overshadowed by the Bakugo fight and the actual internship arc. So I think the mirror tease was nice, and the Twice stuff, but then it's like the Overhaul bit. I like Overhaul, but then they just teased us, bro, with the meeting. We thought that would be this episode. It's like
that ending is so like infuriating because it's like you get the greatness that is Overhaul, but then but by the time we get to the really hype part of the chapter, screw y'all. We'll be back next year.
You get a Lemillion hype at least, and everyone was happy about that.
Oh, of course, because they did so well in that. Only thing I'll say that I don't like is like that part where he's like preparing to fight them with his shirt off, and he looks like a bunch of rocks on his body instead of actual muscles.
I don't know. Yeah, Million's great. They did him justice.
Mirio was great, and another thing they did that really surprised me was they showed Bubble Girl and Night Eye, which for those who don't know, Bubble Girl actually was a fan's creation because like Horikoshi held this this fan art competition where like the best one he would put in the actual show, and I can only imagine how that fan is feeling right now seeing their creation put into the actual TV show.
Wow, it's like if you just read that off of someone's Twitter.
I actually knew about this a year ago. I actually thought about that when I was watching it actually.
No, but just the way that you said all that, it's like if you just
that part it's just really just a coincidence really, because I saw that and I was like, thank you, somebody. I'm not the only one who thought about this.
Yeah, no, it's that's interesting. I would say, like I think Night Eye, I really like his character. They teased him, but whatever, you know. It's like I think this is kind of that thing for people where it's like, all right, you should probably just read the manga now and then look back at the anime again, because like I feel like a lot of people are gonna hop on the manga train after
They better. Let's get them sales up, boys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like the sales are gonna go up for the 40 arc. And I will say, like, I think season 4, like people often criticize 3 for having like the dip in quality or like too much of the shift. Well, season 4, I can confidently say is probably just gonna focus on that one article. Maybe they'll fit in an extra one, but basically a majority of it, it's not gonna be like a half and half. Majority of it is going to be the internship arc, which is, I mean,
The more I've
it's
thought
just an
about it,
what's up?
the more I've thought about it, I don't think that's gonna be the case anymore.
Yeah, I think season 4, again, I know it's not the main topic of the stream. I will say season 4 will be the most consistent season, while I think having the highest highs too.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure what they're gonna do is they're gonna stretch it out. They're gonna make the entire season 4, like on the internship arc. Because if you think about it, I've done the math. There's no way they can actually end the season unless they ended it on the remedial classes arc. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's gonna be a good ending of the season, if you ask me personally.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think what I see them doing is like I'm not going to spoil too much, but there are some characters who get kind of put on the back burner, like they're there, and you're like, yeah, you're gonna see them do some stuff, and then they don't do anything for the entire arc. I'm hoping the anime can at least like give them some in-canon filler bits where we actually see what they were doing to actually, not make them feel like they were just there for the sake of being there, like actually, yeah, just in-canon filler that's good. And I think there's obviously going to be those episodes where it's like doesn't tie into the main story at all.
I mean, this season had me kind of worried about Bones writing filler until we got that movie tie-in, which was really good.
Bro, the movie tie-in was probably the better filler than the one within the license exam. Like the movie tie-in, I was worried about it because it had absolutely nothing to do with the arc, and I was like, it was gonna be so weird, but it was like really, really good.
Don't forget season 2's filler. That was pretty good too. With Froppy.
The Froppy one?
Yeah,
the Froppy one was cute.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I will say, like, I really do like that one, like criminal case one, because I think it's filler, but it's as I'm watching it, I forget that it's filler, and it's like, oh yeah, we got to get it back into this mid arc. So
no, I'm still remembering when I saw that the next episode was gonna be a movie tie-in. I was like, no. I'm like, oh, actually. This is actually pretty good.
And as someone who watches the movie, it's like it does definitely like when you watch the episode, it's like that kind of like ties into the movie like much nicer. So if you've only seen season 2, I mean, you'll be fine. But I think you get more context on the movie if you watch that one episode from 3.
Oh no, you said it'll be fine. Kind of like what we talked about earlier, Ninja. I think that'll be a problem if you only saw season 2 and went to see season 1.
You're right. Because I saw people, because from what I've heard and like the synopsis, what people were saying from what they saw at AX, I was like, it seems to be flowing perfectly fine. And I guess for certain aspects, sure, but then there's also others where it's like, yeah, you can tell it's kind of a shorter movie because it's not a perfect movie. It has, I still love it, but it definitely.
Oh, it's definitely it was a great movie, personally. I think it's great for an anime film, but yeah, there are definitely issues. There are definitely some issues here and there. Now, I'm glad. It's actually interesting to note though that with the ones I found, not everybody saw it, so it's like, well, okay, they did a good job hiding it, personally.
Yeah.
Was it? Now, so with that said, I think we've gone through the entire. I'm an idiot. There's one thing we didn't talk about.
which is
You remember the ending of season 2?
what they.
Oh, the encounter! Oh my
Playing
god,
cards?
love the encounter. Are you talking about that, BG?
Yes, the encounter.
The encounter is such. Man, I'm so happy they ended it off that way. It was so good.
The encounter was the first sign that I was actually really going to love Shigaraki as a character.
Bro, when you just see him in the mall like that, like it's not even like that intense of a fight or anything. It's just so. I will say it was scarier in the manga because like Horikoshi, like I think BG was saying this, he could definitely fit as like a horror manga type artist. And Shigaraki looked terrifying in the manga, bro. It was very unsettling.
Yeah, he's very ugly.
Yeah, this nigga ugly. No, but
It's like no, like the anime did a good job adapting it, but you don't get that sense of horror that you get in the manga. But I'd say, but it makes up for that in my opinion with the voice acting and the music. The voice acting and the music definitely saves that scene completely because it's like you do get a sense of despair from that.
Are you still here?
Who go on?
Yeah, I'm still here. I've just been
Yeah,
listening.
but
But
you
yeah,
don't
that
have it-
encounter. It's just that the encounter in the anime was really scary and just happened out of nowhere, and how it was shown at the end of that. And you're just like, holy shit, what's gonna happen next? If you're an anime watcher, that really just rocked your world because you didn't know what was gonna happen, you know. But for people who've already read the manga, they already knew what was coming up, but it was still just almost as scary as the manga. But for only anime watchers, it was just crazy, just to see him come out of nowhere like that.
Hey,
Also-
Gohan.
Hmm?
Can you reenact your reactions when you watch All for One versus All Might?
Oh my god, dude, what is he doing over there? Oh my god. Just punched him in the face.
To be
Gotta
fair, we're like all in the call.
love that enthusiasm.
Were we like all in the call when that fight happened?
I don't think so because that episode. Like, if you want to watch it at Crunchyroll, it was like 6 in the morning. So
It was it's
Yeah.
like all of them air like 4:30 in the morning, and it's annoying. But I think me, MJ, and Maria we stayed up for one. When it was a certain episode, we all stayed up for it.
make sure you subscribe to MJX TV and Miss DBZ, babe.
Oh,
Shout outs to them.
Yep.
Giggity facts, then.
What? But anyway, back to the encounter. It's also the fact of what made that great to me, especially was the fact that Shigaraki even just figuring out that this man Stain, he didn't do nearly as much as me, but he still has fans. He's known. Everybody's aware of him. And he's also feared too. He has a lot of influence. Why can't I have that? It shows his childish way of thinking, but it also shows his desire to change and grow. Oh, we also have Harry Price in the chat. How's it going, Harry?
Harry, the toy info guy.
We're going, dude.
Harry, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching the end of the stream. We can just they'll give general impressions.
Now let's talk about One Piece. No,
Man, One Piece is the greatest manga of all. Okay, no, but I think overall, I personally like season 3 more just because its highs were very high, like some of the best in the series. But I think its lows are definitely quite low. But all in all, I would say aside from the slow portion, the license exam, and a lot of that gets made up for me, or kind of redeems it with the Bakugo fight. And I have a personal bias for that moment. It's my favorite moment of the series. It's my favorite fight with my favorite characters. Yeah, I really love that episode. So it's like I have a much stronger connection to season 3 because I liked season 2 when it came out, but there's definitely some flaws that I begin to notice. I think maybe I'll notice the same for season 3 after a while, but season 2, it was good at the time. There are some things that don't really hold up as well. I think it does get better, and that's really nice. But all in all, even though it was more consistent, the highs of season 3 are just too high for me to just ignore.
I'd say for me, it's like I have to always separate my type of my way of viewing these things into 2 separate categories. Like in terms of in my subjective view, I'd say I like season 3 a lot more because of its highs, as you said. But in an objective manner, I'd have to say that season 2 was a better season overall because of the fact that the highs don't touch the highs of season 3. Like you said in the chat, the highs of season 3, like the first half, is better than anything in season 2. But the lows lower the quality of the overall season. So I'd say it's more because season 2 is consistently good throughout the entire thing. I have to say it's a better season objectively.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with this too.
I can get behind that. I can get behind it. Yeah.
But what about season 1?
Season 1 is just trash. I'm just kidding.
Like Haikyuu season 1.
I mean, Haikyuu season. We could talk about that for another 3 hours. We don't do that though.
Can you really type about volleyball anime for 3 hours?
I could talk about it for 1. I mean, knowing all 3 seasons, I could talk about it for a couple hours.
Yeah, all 3. Yeah. but just one season.
And
one.
then talk about the manga too, and how Jump Festa just can't tell us we have season 4, and how Yonko just put the damn fucking thing on Twitter, and he didn't even say it was there. Ah! Okay, I'm not shooting at any. I'm not trying to like take shots at people, but you can't just tease my like second favorite anime like that, dude. You can't just do that.
Wait,
It hurts.
You know what his favorite is. You know what his favorite is. Is it really that hard to guess?
Wait,
Very
wait.
predictable, bro.
wait. What if Yonko teased a new
If he
show?
teases a new Steins Gate and he's lying, then that's just weird, you know? Because Steins Gate's not really a popular show or anything. It's just an anime that came from a visual novel, you know? That's all it is.
Gohan, do you own the visual novel?
I am going to own them soon. It's happening.
I thought you were the biggest fan.
I am not the biggest fan. I'm not. I know that.
I'm
Who
going to
said
give it
I
a
was?
shot, Wu. I'm definitely going to give it a shot.
No, I'm not giving any shots. It's gonna happen.
Now,
It's
also, I said you said we're going to end the stream. We don't have to end yet. We have a couple things, more things we can talk about.
Yeah,
comes-
you're right. You're right. And Harry's still trying to get in. Trying to get
Yes,
in.
because we're going to
What
Oh,
do we have to talk about?
the movie.
Oh, this is a movie.
And that's before I leave because I did not watch the movie yet. So.
Dude, I can't believe Bakugo died in the movie, and then they brought
Oh,
him.
really? Bakugo
Yeah.
died?
No. The best part was when Bakugo and Uraraka made out.
Yeah. that
Oh,
was-
wow.
that
So
pissed
you
off all
had,
the
like
fans.
sex behind the scenes like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yo,
they actually-
ninja.
Yo,
Hold on,
yo,
let me DM you.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I DM'd you probably.
Yeah, I haven't watched the movie yet.
Wait, has he gotten to
So-
that yet, or is he just like looking at the title?
Oh, wait. No, DM me. What are you talking about?
He's talking about
You're talking about him. Man, like, what
Looks like we're
903.
just
All I will
DMing.
say is 903.
Oh, you got to that?
Yeah, revolutionary moment in One Piece, bro. Sorry, hey, you guys probably in the chat don't really get the context.
I
Um,
do not even. I get the context all the time right now, but I haven't watched the movie, so I
Oh,
might
he's
have to
on
go
here.
so I don't get spoiled.
All right. It was well, everybody, please check out Mr. Gohan's Twitter. Plug yourself, boy.
Yeah, check out Mr. Gohan. It's the O is a
That-
zero
That guy
instead of
who
an O.
dropped One Piece after 700 episodes.
Yeah.
Because he-
I've done
because he
that.
forgot, not because he hated it, but because he forgot.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't watch it with my siblings, I would have dropped it a long time ago. But they kept me through it. Okay, so just thank them.
Oh my God, he just said that One Piece was mid.
I didn't say it's mid. It's just before I was watching it was mid.
Oh, go on.
Hey!
Everyone
Whoa!
attack his Twitter for having a different opinion.
Oh no! Oh god! But I do have to go because if they're talking about the movie, I can't really stay because then I'll be spoiled. So everybody have a good day. Go watch the movie. I'm gonna go do that too now. So you guys have a good day and subscribe to BG Anime for uploads on My Hero. I don't know for how long, but they'll be there.
Once in a century uploads.
What's in a citrus? Alrighty, see you guys.
Guys, hey, let's be real. BG
Oh.
after
So,
this.
so Harry's gonna take my place. He works for Toei. Everybody, I'm just kidding. He really doesn't, but he's gonna be taking my place now.
He's the most American Toei employee ever.
Yes, he is. So,
Johan,
so
can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thanks for taking my place here, Harry. Because I'm gonna go now since I didn't watch the movie. So
Oh, okay, we're talking about the movie now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have to go now because I haven't watched it. So I will talk to you guys all later.
All right, see you, Johan.
So, anybody from this point forward, everyone, we're going to be talking about the My Hero Academia movie. If you haven't seen it and you don't
Bro,
want spoilers,
oh my
thank you for
God,
coming.
bro.
We will
Crazy.
see you all later. But okay, so okay, first off, everyone, welcome Mr. Harry Price to the chat.
Hey, glad to be here. Don't really have much to say, but the movie was just, oh my gosh, it was fucking amazing.
Man, it was indeed. It was. Yeah. No.
His favorite part.
I have to say, probably the. I mean, we're gonna be talking about spoilers, so like the double smash thing they did at the end with All Might and Deku. I mean, that was pretty epic, as well as like, I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably say that. As well as just some of the other character moments. There were some funny like Ida moments, I guess. I don't know.
Someone's phone's going off, dude.
Hello?
Not mine.
Oh yeah, Yeah, it was also like for me, I'd say that movie was great,
Mhm.
really good movie. But there are some issues here and there that we're gonna get into later.
Yeah, I would say so. Actually, is it okay if I'm go just off topic real quick? Because like Harry like joined the stream wasn't here for the actual like season talk. I just want to get his take. Like, what do you? Because like stream title still 2 versus 3. I think we should.
Okay,
So his
so
opinion.
I'd probably say season 3. I mean, the festival did have some good moments, but like All for One versus All Might, like that kind of just made the whole season for me, as well as like Mirio being introduced right at the end. I think he was kind of a cool character. So yeah.
Yeah, the highs were definitely a lot higher in season
Mm.
2's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can go back to the movie talk now. I know
Yeah,
you're really
we
anxious
can
to
talk about the
it.
movie now.
In the beginning, the movie, also Lou, I'm trying to do that right now. We're having some technical difficulties there. Like I'm trying to make the movie change like the video title name to like and like whatchamacallit. I don't know how I'm gonna title it, but I'll figure something out. In any
So,
case,
maybe My Hero movie discussion or something. I don't know.
yeah, actually I can do that. Oh yeah, that's one of those flaws that we're gonna what you're talking about in the chat right now. That's one of the flaws that we're gonna
Bro,
be talking about later.
I don't get it. People are saying that like I mean I really like the movie, but people are saying like in the reviews, man, if you're a fan of this character, they'll get some shine. Everyone will get some shine. I'm sorry, I forgot Sarah was even in the movie.
Yeah, Sarah was in like one scene with like Sugar Man or whatever, and then like
Togoyami makes a cameo, bro. A cameo.
Aoyama wasn't even in there until like the credits, I think.
No, Aoyama wasn't even in the movie at all, if I'm not mistaken. Like, maybe credits aside, may have missed it. Suyu got kind of drafted.
Yes, they played Uno. We didn't even get to see them playing Uno or whatever.
No, I mean people laughed when like Invisible Girl like held up the Uno cards, but like that was it, man. Everyone else were just like just kind of forgot. I mean, I get it, like they didn't have official invitations, but I mean, I don't get what people are saying.
Why did Coda fucking get the shaft?
Man, I forgot he and Sarah were even in the movies because it's like, yeah, they weren't allowed to be accepted into the actual expo, but yeah, it's weird. Vindo, you might want to mute your mic real quick. Yeah, no, but it's weird.
Not all characters got the shine. Like a lot of them did, but some just got.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold the movie's fault against that because it's like I think the characters that we did see, like we got some nice Momo stuff. I think Jiro. She didn't get too much of a role, but her presence was definitely there, and I did like it. I thought the Kaminari Mineta gags were actually
that was amazing.
Bro, people in the theater were dying whenever they were saying stuff. And granted, like the same joke was used, but it was still like super funny to see like Mineta just yell harem, like while he was climbing up the wall. It was great. Like I think even for people who hadn't seen My Hero, which I assume there's like a handful in the theater, they were probably like, "Yo, Mineta's the GOAT." But it's like,
it's like good that they like showed like flashbacks to like the beginning of My Hero in the beginning for those who haven't seen the show. I mean, it would have been better though if you watched seasons 1 and 2 and maybe even the filler episode in season 3. But
yeah. So. I mean, me and BG were talking about this. Because like a lot of people, because this movie takes place between 2 and 3, so like after they finish the license exam before they go on the field trip, some people were saying that like before you watch season 3, you should probably watch this. And I was like, because I was looking at the synopsis of the movie and all that before, from what I was hearing from other people, I'm like, yeah, it seems to be able to fit in fine. But then it's like, I guess canonically it can fit, but like there's some things about it that make it like looking back, I have to disagree, and BG kind of feels the same way. I guess he can start off for why he feels like maybe shouldn't be watched, before season 3, because he could probably elaborate better. BG,
you there?
Black Gorilla Anime. Oh well, he's gone. I might as well just talk about it because like I know what he's gonna say. BG, are you here? Because your thing just showed up. No. Oh, I think I can hear you, but your audio is like so low.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You might need to plug in your mic again, BG, or something, because I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Back.
There we go.
Okay.
There's Black Gorilla Anime.
Sorry for Okay, sorry for the technical difficulties, but what I was going to say was there are some issues personally, because it's like would kind of make it to where you should probably watch season 3 before you watch this, because like there are two scenes in particular. The first scene is when they get locked into the building, and they have that discussion about like, oh, what are we gonna do? We don't have our licenses.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, and then
like they were alluding to that.
Yeah, so then they're like all having like issues figuring out what they're gonna do, and then we have Ida over here saying, as your president, I won't let you fight. But then he's like, oh, I don't. What is it? I was like, what if we could save everyone without fighting? Now I thought to myself, now don't that sound really familiar?
Oh yeah.
And then it's like them trying to get into the building without actually fighting, like that whole plan, the rescue All Might, rescue Bakugo, trying to get in without any violence or whatever. I mean, you know, that didn't turn out actually because like they attack, bro. I legit forgot this was supposed to be like a peaceful rescue mission.
Not only that, there's also the fact that even if you ignore that, the other problem lies in the fact that, well, we have the problem of Izuku and all of them. If they were able to come up with this that quickly, then why were they gonna what was their original plan when they came to saving Bakugo? Just how about we beat our way into there and we save him and get out? But it's like, no, I won't let you fight. And then they had a bit of a disagreement, and then Ida gets so mad he punches Izuku in the face. No, they wouldn't have gotten that heated if they could have just came up with this plan before. They would have came up with the exact same plan again.
Right, because I think the big thing about that moment, which makes it so memorable, is because like it's actually something really creative, and I think like that idea being explored, because the idea does get brought up in this movie. It's not explored that well, but the fact that the idea is there, it kind of lessens the impact of like season 3s, in my opinion. Because like when you hear about it for the first time, you're like, wow, this is actually like really smart. Like this whole idea that we're going for. I think the tension between Ida and Deku is a lot more built up, because in this movie it's just like whatever, and it kind of leads stuff back. It's weird, I will say. I guess as far as like connections that could be made though, like that can greaten the impact. Kirishima and Bakugo get kind of close, so I guess that kind of impacts why Kirishima wants to help him out so much. But it's like
maybe for the fangirls, maybe. But no.
For the fangirls.
Bakugo like saving Ochiko in the movie. Like,
bro, that pissed off people, I can tell.
There were people actually in my theater who were saying like, man, I would love to see Bakugo and Ochiko like.
No.
I don't know about that one. Cheese.
Yeah,
we don't want to talk about these.
I want to scream something.
But what was I gonna say? No. And then there's another scene in the movie that really caused a problem. What was it? And that's the fact that Izuku, and not Izuku, that like during the All Might's fight with the big bad, he mentions that he was hired by All for One. And them showing All for One during the in between period between season 2 and season 3, that doesn't really work, because it going back to what Bendel said earlier in the chat, like in this discussion with how like showing him at the end of season 2 kind of lessens his impact when he first appears. Oh, if you thought that was a problem, this is majorly worse, because they show his entire design in this, and he talks and everything.
Yeah. Honestly, I think like the intro, like the entrance of All Might, and like that's what Bindle was saying. Like the fact that you didn't see him in the manga until his entrance, that was a lot more impactful. But I mean, then again, in the anime, it's like it's whatever. It's not like a full-on view. Whereas in the movie, I feel like they do kind of assume that you've already seen season 3, and with the way things are, it's just like yeah, it's weird because I mean, I guess most people that hadn't really thought about that critique hadn't actually had already kind of experienced it. So it's like, it doesn't really come to mind. But then I'm just thinking, like, as someone who would have only seen season 2, I think like the impact of his overall entrance loses it, like the mystery behind the mask and like the intimidation and all that Darth Vader type feel. It like it's still like the scene itself is still great, but I think the movie still just should be watched for like little stuff like that, like story consistency and all that. Because yeah, canonically, like the events wise, sure, it fits in just fine. But as far as like just character moments and impacts of like still the series scenes, I think it's just overall better if you experience season 3 first, and then to see this as like, oh yeah, that's cool.
It's
Or
like
at least go
person-
up to the filler episode.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, like for me personally, I'd say like if you as a rewatch after you've already seen all these things, I'd say that you should watch it season 1, season 2, movie, and then 3. But for a first time viewing, no, not at all. Not at all. It won't work. It won't work.
Yeah,
Like
you're
you
completely spoiled by All for One. Like, what the fuck?
Oh no! I get what you're saying, Nerd King. I'm saying, but that's for us who's already seen it. I'm saying like we did. Like if you hadn't already seen season 3, you'll have no idea. You really won't know anything about him. You won't know that he was uber injured because the only like visual you have of him in season 2 is that he's like this dude in a suit and you has a whole face. Everything's fine.
You
With him.
look like Voldemort, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Like you don't know much about him, but you hear his voice. You have his theme. You already see him. It's already kind of.
He's been foreshadowed since the first chapter. It's like a villain caused me this injury.
Yeah, and it's like it'd be better. You're better off not seeing him. It's like you're better off not seeing him or knowing as little as possible versus watching this first and then watching season 3 and then seeing him there. It won't feel as like because that when you first see him, it won't be the same as if you had never seen him in this movie. After all, I don't think the reveal of a villain should come in a movie. It should definitely come in the actual show, personally, and that's my opinion. And it's like because now when we get to the whatchamacallit, because I think we've talked about most of the negatives. There's only one other negative I have, and it's a really minor nitpick, really, about how there's some reused animation in the movie. That you know that like if you're not too into animation, you wouldn't even call it. There are some scenes I've talked to with these guys here that I actually noticed them, but they didn't actually catch it. So it's like not really that noticeable.
I noticed like maybe one bit, and that was Todoroki in the fire, and that was really.
Oh yeah, that was exactly what I noticed too.
But it wasn't like that big, to be honest. Like I didn't notice too many bits. Like BG brought up the Mineta scene, but I mean I didn't have too much of a problem. Like I still think like the Yutaka Nakamura cuts like basically
those all
everything in
made
the
up,
climax,
like-
bro.
Oh no, we'll definitely get into that in a minute because now we've talked about all the negatives. Now we can start actually just praising the movie. Getting into
Oh my god, the comedy, man! The movie's so funny, man. It's
Like,
especially in
I don't know
dub.
what I was gonna say, but
that's some of the things that I actually did really good because like other than those like consistency issues I noticed, Yosuke Kuroda did write a pretty good movie in my opinion because it's like we had what was it like the beginning bits. The beginning bits are some of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. Like people say the first half was boring and exposition based and all that. You know, I liked it. You know, it gave us that reintroduction of all these characters, yeah, but it did it in such a fun way to where it can still like give casuals an idea how they are. And I like the exposition personally. I think the opening scene with All Might and his flashback is a lot of fun. I mean, the way it was starting off, I think like my theater audio was kind of low or something.
yeah, exactly. I was thinking like the same. Like, is this 5.1 surround sound? And then
Yeah.
it started getting a bit louder.
And then I hear Chris It's All Might, and I'm like, yeah, we're good now.
No, it really worked for me because it's like one of the main things I wanted to see was seeing All Might in his prime, see how he was there. Oh my god, that was so cool. Oh, that was so like just phenomenal. Especially because it gave me a good taste of how America is in this show.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to know one weird thing? It's not a flaw in the movie at all, but you know what was weird?
What?
Remember in the very beginning, the flashback where it shows basically a Las Vegas sign, but then it says California, USA.
I
I
mean,
didn't actually notice that.
I didn't catch that, but that's a good
Yeah,
eye.
yeah, yeah.
Well, shoot, you're right.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, but it was just so weird. It's like but Las Vegas, is California. That's so weird, but
Man,
whatever.
you're right. I didn't. Maybe they were like shifting, giving an idea that it's America, and that scene was focused on Las Vegas, but then it switches over to California. I don't know, bro.
Maybe they drove all the way. Maybe they chased them all the way down to California. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I
Maybe-
will. Go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say maybe they'll like fix that for like a Blu-ray. Probably not, but like you never know.
No. It was a. I love that it looked good. I'm like, because I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I was like, I don't think the America stuff takes place in Las Vegas. That's kind of weird. No, but what'd you guys think of the shields, like Melissa and David?
Melissa is a highlight of the film, if you ask me. She's a highlight.
I agree.
Better girlfriend than Veronica.
I'm
I
telling
mean-
you, bro.
I mean,
Yo.
you might be memeing, but I'm being serious.
Yeah, I'm kind of serious too. Like she has more chemistry with Deku than Deku does with Uraraka, in my opinion. Like I think also like the bit where it's like the someone trying to be like a top scientist and then top hero. I think that can go well together. That I know it probably won't happen, obviously, but I think that would. I think it works well. Like I like that whole foil bit.
I
I-
just
Go ahead. Sorry.
hope they bring her back.
How would they like re-include her into the story though? Would it just be like in the manga? It's like, oh yeah, remember that one adventure we had? I mean,
Like other animes have done the similar things where like things from movies incorporate their ways into the actual series, and I feel that it could work here too. Actually, it could get it done.
yeah,
It's just gonna take some. It really doesn't need to take much creativity either. The only thing is, there'd only be like one slight little flaw. You know that thing we talked about before, but with some of those consistency issues,
yeah.
it'd validate those consistency issues, and they'd definitely show up. That would definitely make like they'd be canonical.
Mhm.
Because like that would mean all of this happens, and if all of this actually happens, then that means oof.
You know what I like about the movie?
What?
I like the way they incorporate Jiro to being important.
Jiro?
Yeah, I like the way they used her for basic espionage, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't say like she didn't do too much, but like her presence was definitely known throughout the movie, and I did like that. You know, Jiro's a cool character.
Oh no, Wu. There's one problem with that about her being a famous support person. Now, personally, I would love that, but there's one issue with this. The series has already set up Izuku to have a specific support person.
Rip.
You forgot who we are? You forgot who she is?
Atsume.
Yep. I'm a little upset now because I thought about this when I watched it. I was like, "Oh, she's gonna be Izuku's support
Man,
person."
why are the support characters? That's so sexist.
Oh, dude. Nah,
It's a shame because I thought about it. I was like, I like Hatsume. Then I saw this. I'm like, who's Hatsume again?
and it's like, no, Tatsume is probably gonna get built somewhere. I like Hatsume, but Melissa's just like a really nice character. I like David being actually like a part of the I feel like I've seen that trope before, but I mean I like David being a part of, like the creation of it all.
Well, it's not even really that with me and why I like David. What made David so good to me is something my friend pointed out to me, is that David genuinely believes in on what All Might comes to represent, and he believes that without him, the world loses a big part of its light. And that's all. It's all genuine. There's no like malice or anything there. There's no like doubt. Every bit of it, he's like he truly believes in what All Might
Bro,
represents.
he got better motivation than the villain does.
Yo, did you notice Japan flexing the world? Our crime rate is only 10, everywhere else it's like 20. It's like, damn.
Yeah, Japan flexing, bro. It's like I'm just thinking, man. It's like I'm really happy. Like we got a whole international feel of it. Granted, we only saw like California and islands and all that, but I really do hope Horikoshi explores like the overall world more and it doesn't just stay so true to Japan. Because I was always wondering, like, how is All Might seen to the other countries? And I mean, like still the number one, and that inspires heroes all across the globe. But it's just Japan's the like most safe, just because of All Might's actually there. But his presence, like in and of itself, kind of motivates the whole world. I always like that. I'm happy, not always. I like that seeing it because I was curious because me and BG were talking about like how like is All Might the number one hero in the country? Is he like only the strongest hero in the country? Are there more people across the globe who are stronger than him? I mean, I would still like if they explore it, but I think that already kind of answers the question. Like, yeah, he's already kind of the strongest.
Also, Neil, if you really like that, I should check out my video on that.
Oh, plug.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, it's like how All Might being the.
I was on it too.
Yes, Ninja Star was there for it as well.
Yeah, I was on it too. We talked about how the symbol of peace sucks as an idea, and we need like a group of heroes, like the X-Men or something. Sounded dumb.
Yeah, that's some. There's a lot of good. There was a lot of stuff like that, like because he points out he brings up a good point that they do indeed reiterate how like the symbol of peace should be a thing. Like, it is kind of a problem, and that's kind of what made David so good. But the thing about David, here's something interesting. For me, when I was watching that, and they like, and like Melissa shows up, and she's over here like, what's Dad doing here? I was like, dang, it's not. What are you talking about? It's not like he's the villain. And it's like, oh, he's doing something evil. You know, it's something illegal. Okay, maybe. No. What's actually gonna happen is it's gonna be Sam's the bad guy. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, I was thinking Sam was gonna be the
Sands? Sands? Undertale?
No,
Oh,
this
God.
dude.
So Sam was the assistant, right? Just making sure.
Yeah, the assistant.
Yeah, he would have been actually like a really interesting antagonist, but no, we got this boring ass villain who was there in the BG. We were talking about the criticisms. We didn't even bring up this guy because that shows how forgettable he was. Bro, he's like your generic shonen movie villain who you forgot the name. I don't even know this dude's name. I just know him. He was that one dude in the beginning scene of the movie. What's his motivation? He works under All for One. I like that connection, but his motivation is All Might hit me when I was younger. So
No, his motivation is I want money, man. I want money, man.
I want money, dude.
Here's the real
Gohan was the real villain in the movie.
But here's where something I found it. I know this wasn't supposed to be hilarious, but it really was. Where like after the villain like is revealed and like Sam's revealed to be a traitor, he takes out his gun, shoots him like he killed Sam. I was like, oh, Sam's alive. Shoots him again. He cuts away and shoots him again. They killed Sam. Oh, he's alive. They shoot him. They killed Sam. Oh, baby.
It's just crazy just seeing people just getting like that.
No, it was wild to see him get shot, but it was freaking ridiculous how he kept cutting away, making you think they killed him, but it's always not the case. I'm like, stop shooting him. You keep teasing me.
Bro, I think all jokes aside, I think Neil actually brings up a really good analogy. It's like the villain seems like a Marvel Cinematic Universe antagonist, like one of the forgettable ones. Like, bro, I honestly feel that way just because like they have a cool mech, they have a cool final battle, but that's really only served to give a cool final battle and an obstacle, like not an actual villain, just an obstacle, and it's just not interesting. I mean, like I do like the connection with All for One, but like you mentioned, it kind of lessens. Well, okay, maybe if they didn't show Silhouette, I guess that maybe would have been would have been nicer. But like you see that connection, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. But then I'm like, oh yeah, All for One's a cool villain. What about this guy? Yeah, he's just kind of.
Well, I will say that when they actually revealed the connection, I was really like confused for a minute. I was like, why are they playing his theme right now? And then it's like, bro, there he is.
The greatness, bro. It was. I liked it, but it was just like, man, I'm thinking in my head. It's like I like that All for One connection, but wouldn't David's assistant have been like a much more interesting antagonist? Like not revolutionary or anything, but I think like if he was a bit more on the aggressive side of things, I think he could have made it a lot more personal.
His name was Nerd King. His name was Wolfram, which is another problem with him as a villain because they don't even say what his name is in the movie.
You're right, bro. They didn't even say his name.
It's just random Doug.
I thought about that because I was like, I never
how'd you find out his name, BG?
They showed it in promotional. They showed it in promotional stuff, and then I was like, what's his name again? I was like, did they say his name?
Yeah, did they?
Oh my god! At least in the MCU movies, they say the name of the villain at least once. You don't even know the name of this dude. This is terrible.
But I was like, what I will say that was cool about the villain, like, because outside of his terrible motivation and his really forgettable presence, was his abilities. Because my friend pointed something out when he teased them what happens in the movie to me. He was like, let's just say this is a power, and he has a power that you would think to yourself, this should be in here. This power should be in this verse. And it is like, oh yes, he's like Magneto. It's like, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's actually really obvious when you think about it that that's the one they would have used.
Yeah.
Because honestly, even though he's kind of whack, let's move on to what wasn't whack. How we talk about how, well, that Todoroki and Bakugo team up.
Yep.
You know what that bad guy needed to do?
What?
Take lessons from Arlon on how to kill people with a gun.
I mean, you got a good point,
bro. Imagine this would be so messed up if they did it. Imagine if we go like an Arlong type scene where like Melissa's all there and then David's just there like I love you, and then he just like shoots David on the spot.
Oh my god!
And then
Imagine if he did that.
and then Melissa gets a quirk by turning into Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gotta get that female representation, bro.
Well, yeah, you got to remember that All Might had a second quirk lying in his back pocket.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I will say that I would just want to point this out. There are times in this movie where I kind of forgot that it was placed after season 2 because when I remember when Todoroki shot at his fire, I don't know if you guys noticed it. He was like, "Wow, Todoroki, you're using your flames." I'm like, "Oh yeah, right. This takes place after season 2." I kind of forgot it. I can't be the only one who found that kind of like it
Hey,
was off. putting.
BG, your favorite anime, Boruto on Toonami right now.
Oh, of course.
Boruto's the greatest series of all time.
Wait a second. It's not Dragon Ball Super? I thought Dragon Ball Super was actually at 10:30.
Mm,
I bet they moved it.
No, they moved it 30
Okay,
minutes
that's
down.
good. So I don't need to leave this conversation for freaking
Harry-
Dragon Ball Super.
Harry got to get those recordings down, dude. You gotta.
Hey, Harry, you better get the recordings out for next week.
Yeah, man, I already have them.
Because next week is the real debut of Top.
Oh, you're right.
Top.
I'm still gonna call him Tobo. I don't care what the tub's called.
Top.
God of Destruction top.
Top.
Anyway,
When you find out he's really a Beyblade.
Bro, it's.
Oh yeah, Harry. They want they want to know what you do for content.
I don't do content. No, I just like
It's
upload
Twitter.
clips.
Twitter's
Yeah, I just mainly use Twitter, honestly, and Discord as well. At Harry Price DBS on Twitter, and then GP2 on Discord.
And then just search up Harry Price on YouTube and you'll see
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super previews, man.
I really do not like use YouTube that much anymore, other than for Dragon Ball Super clips. Like I probably should, but like I just haven't been motivated.
You're starting to get fans, bro. You should make content.
Maybe I'll do a review on this movie, but I mean that's kind of what we're doing right now. So
Kagami, plug yourself in the chat.
Yeah, you know what? You've been kind of active in the chat. It's a relatively
And in
small
fact,
stream. That's cool.
give me a second, Kagami.
You finna hit the subscribe and be like, all right, you enjoy me for the next
Kagami's
one."
been about every stream I've had, so I gave him that.
Yeah, I see him. I see him around a lot. I think he's in MJ streams. I don't know.
He is.
yeah, I think I've
Yeah.
seen him around there
Yeah.
too.
MG streams, bro, the best streams where we talk about everything but Jiren.
Yeah, remember when everyone was like slandering Mayo that one night? Was it Mayo? I think it was Mayo.
Yep.
Was
Fuck
a
you,
weird
Dempsey.
night. It was so wacky.
But yeah, no. So back to the topic at hand. We get to the we get in those now I think we've talked about everything except the biggest part of the movie. That Yutaka Nakamura cut.
Bruh.
Nakamura.
I feel like he had multiple cuts actually. I
Yeah,
remember
he did
seeing,
have
like
multiple cuts.
his Utapon cubes in like different scenes, like from towards the beginning, towards the final scene with the.
Yeah, because I could tell with some like the All Might stuff, that's definitely him. But it's also like some of the Deku stuff. I'm like, that could also be his style. But then again, it's like I'm not too familiar with Bones animators, so I mean,
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
I know Nakamura and Umakoshi. That's about it.
Oh yeah, I knew Mukasey.
I know
I
that
don't even recognize Umakoshi's animation yet.
I forgot that one animator. I watched like a mad of his. He animated like a lot of iconic like FMA cuts. Like he animated like Ed's like defeating father. and-
Yoshimichi Kameda.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I saw Victor talking about him earlier.
Man, how do you guys know these animators' names? I don't know shit.
Google
Because
that.
of AJ.
AJ, yes.
Well, AJ doesn't even do the bone stuff that much. We kind
Well, no, but he talked about it on Twitter a lot, though.
Yeah, but like
I think he mentioned it in like a supervisor's video,
Yeah.
but
Nah, Ben, there's like AMVs and MADs of like these animators. Like I found out about Namada through the and I was like, dude, you animated that scene. You animated Mustang killing Envy. You animated
Spoilers, man.
Yeah,
Come
you've
on.
seen FMA, no better. You've seen, yeah, like he animated
Yeah,
like,
but what
defeating
about people in the
father.
chat?
He defeated. Well, you know, it's
Wow.
their fault for all watching
I'm-
FMA.
yeah. To be
I'm like-
fair, I mean, I probably should be catching up too, but like it's been years since.
Oh shoot, my bad, Harry.
I'm
I
like
mean, I
everyone.
don't even remember what you said to be.
I mean, everyone in
I-
here, if you haven't already, you should check out FMA as well.
It's better than my hero. It's better.
Oh,
than,
wait. Which
I don't know
one?
about-
Brotherhood or 03?
Both.
Yeah, watch 03 first, then Brotherhood.
Yeah, 03 first, then Brotherhood.
Watch
Yeah.
03 first, then Brotherhood. Manga at the end if that's your.
Damn, we're giving 03 some love. I thought it was trash. Sorry.
I don't think it's trash. I think it's decent. It's good, but it's not as good as Brotherhood.
Sorry.
Victor better join the stream. All right. Let me.
They're just gonna be like, so here's why you're wrong.
You got the
Some
Scared
scares.
people
FMA.
actually said that 03 was better than Brotherhood.
You'll finish FMA first.
Yeah,
You'll finish FMA first because Hunter x Hunter's longer, and FMA's better.
yeah,
Facts.
yeah. Hunter x Hunter's good.
It's
but
overrated.
No, I look back at it. I'm like, there's still like I think I'm maybe being a
The
bit too
current
critical.
arc is about to be fire. I'm telling you, we are at some hype now.
Now, Bindle, I have a question. Do you think, like, remember when the editor said, like, he read a plot synopsis and it would
okay.
do you think that's next week? Or not?
I feel like now thinking about it, I feel like it's a manuscript of the next few story elements to be introduced. I think that's what it is. I don't think he was hyping up that very next chapter. I feel like that was a mistranslation.
I really hope that was the case because I'm like, from what you've told me and everybody else has told me, is like we're back to formula.
The first chapter back.
Formula.
Yeah, the first chapter back mid, right? But the next chapter, it was heat, bro. Especially now that let's just say we're at this banquet now where everyone is gonna be like together, basically. So that means crazy shit's gonna happen. So I can't wait.
This is my second or third stream, but I'm gonna start streaming more often. I can do. I actually have a lot of fun doing.
Yeah.
streams.
So in 2 years.
No, streams are fun. Streams are fun.
No. Well, the anime's on break there. BG's gonna have to lay dormant for a little bit.
I'm not gonna lay dormant for a year. I have things to talk about.
No, the manga.
But yeah, no, like all in all, to wrap up the whole like movie discussion, I say that those last 20 minutes in terms of animation were like very phenomenal, especially when we get to that All Might and Izuku like team up.
I love the
That was-
comparison too. Like I didn't like when you see when I actually did like that. Like when the villain sees like All Might's silhouette, but then it goes over to Deku. I don't
It's
know.
like the old All Might, and then it like merges into like Deku. Like that was fucking.
All my Deku team up was so fantastic to see it. Like I understand people's like Victor was saying, and like a bunch of other people like, oh, they've kind of already seen the climax before. But I mean, yeah, but like the big thing about it was Deku and All Might like teaming up, and that was just so great to see.
We're never gonna get that.
We're never gonna get that. Yes. Now I see what everyone was talking about. Like you're never gonna get that from like the actual series because homie All Might, he's kind of in that
he's
Johnny
kinda
Bravo state
gone.
right now. Like All Might's literally Johnny Bravo. He's like when he's dumbed down, not muscular.
No, it's a dang shame, Woo, because that team up was phenomenal and it made me want more. But we're never gonna get more, so I'm just gonna have to settle with this scene for the rest of my life.
Man,
I'm pretty satisfied though.
The best scene was a good way to end it off. It's a good first and last time.
yeah.
Because it just gave you everything you'd want from a Yutaka Nakamura cut from the show itself.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking in my head, like I think this the movie took place at a time like this, but obviously I think there's gonna be like more movies to come with
I hope so.
Like this is a show I'm probably gonna
well,
get like 10 or
course.
something like that. But I'm just thinking like where else are the movies gonna be? Like if there's a second movie, do you
And
think
space.
no, I mean like in time sense, like would it take place like before
Fuck
the-
it. When they're adults and everyone falls already.
You know what I want them to do for a second movie?
Yeah.
I want them to do more like kind of like what No Game No Life did, where the sequel is not about the characters we've come to know and love, about brand new characters or characters from the past.
So let's do Vigilantes.
That'd be good. That'd actually be cool.
Vigilantes movie. Oh geez, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because honestly, it gives us a show of like Stain before he was Stain.
It would not pull in people though. Like let's be real.
It wouldn't.
It has the title, but
Because it's my
yeah, of course, like we would and all that. But like in terms of the general audience, like even though it has like that title attached to it, it's not gonna like just not the fact that like the fact that All Might's not gonna be there, the fact that Deku's not really gonna be there. I think that's really gonna off-put people. As far as like the next movie goes, I mean, yeah, All Might's not gonna be there, so I just like I'm curious where they would place it like maybe after season 3.
I think it would probably be after.
Would that work though? Because like
No, sorry, after season 4. I mixed
I
up.
was like, yeah, because season 3 ends in the middle of an arc.
Oh yeah,
I meant
because
season
they
4.
end like just with introducing Togata or Mirio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like season 4. I think that would be a decent because there's like a little bit of a gap between that and the culture festival. So like, it can work.
I mean, a movie every 2 years would work for me personally.
2 years is a little bit too short. I think maybe a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, like think about it. The first anime was 2016, and the movie came out in 2018. So it's
Manga was
like
2014.
the manga was 2014. I'm speaking more with Bones.
Oh yeah, no, I just thought it was funny, like the connection. Like every 2 years, it was like something. My Hero, like 2014 was the year the manga dropped. 2016 was the year the anime dropped. 2018 was the year the
Yo, I
movie
was actually
dropped.
like looking at like the chapter numbers and when they came out, and I realized like we're really behind on the anime.
And that's great because I guess just way more content.
Yeah, and that's why like because it's good for something like My Hero, but for something like Attack on Titan, I think they're gonna have to wait like a little bit of a while. I mean, I guess if they like condense it into like 12 episode seasons, it'll be easier to get through. But like once they get through this season, they'll only really have like one more major arc to cover, and after that, they're kind of like caught up to the manga. The thing is about the Attack on Titan manga is it's monthly. And the anime is gonna be kind of, yeah. That I think we're gonna see
Sounds
like
like
another
Dragon Ball
hiatus.
Super to me. No,
Also, Wu brings up a good point about the movie. How he wants the next movie to actually be about All Might's past, because this one was talking about we're gonna get All Might's past. We don't learn anything about All Might.
I mean we got like that flashback in the beginning, but
The
like,
flashback in the beginning was great, but you really don't get much insight. You just get you get a sneak peek. You get a sneak peek with some really good character acting.
and then we got like that volume origin thing, but like that was about it.
I'm like, no, if they could expand upon that, I'd actually really be happy. That'd be really good. Like with the All Might Rising stuff.
Mm,
That as an anime would be anime film would be really good to me.
same. Oh man, did people leave?
I think everybody got kicked out or something.
Shit.
Well, on that note, I think we've I think we said all we need to say, and it seems all my guests have vanished into thin air. But thank you all.
Really amazing movie. So
Yeah, phenomenal movie. But yeah, thank you all for showing up. We hope to see you again on the next stream or the next video. Subscribe to me. If you like, subscribe to Mr. Ninja Star. Subscribe to Harry Price. Follow Bindle on Twitter, and we'll see you all later.
peace.
Oof.